Alright, gang, welcome back to our vintage survival here in Szpakowo. It's now August. I've already got the workers started on harvesting that field over there, which is quite a large field, so that's going to be a while for him to finish that. We are going to go ahead and get started here, trying to take care of the remainder of the straw that we have to pick up. There is going to be more straw. That field that he's harvesting there is going to drop some more straw, so we're going to have more there as well to take care of, but that's the main objectives here. There's one other field that needs to be harvested. It's way down there. You can almost kind of see it from here. In the far distance, you can kind of see the, well, I guess it's kind of a, I don't even know what you would call it, like a tan, not even, maybe like a tannish color, I guess is what I would call it. I don't know. But it's down there in the distance that we're going to have to also harvest today. And then we need to really start re-drilling some of these fields. Now, I've mentioned a couple of times in the past here, of the last couple of episodes, that, you know, we're not going to be doing every single one of these fields with a re-drill like we normally would. We are going to be saving a few of those for changing it up a bit. We're going to probably add some corn, etc. in there. We've talked about getting a new harvester, a smaller harvester, so it's not going to be as fast or store as much, but it does have a nice header width for corn and for sunflowers, which will be something we definitely want to continue to do here, and it's going to help us out tremendously being able to do that. But we got to get a little bit more money to do that. We don't have enough money at current, but we will soon enough. But we're going to carry on here, getting the rest of the straw up off this field. First off, we've got a lot of bales of straw as well that have been kind of dropped out on a bunch of these different fields. Some of these we may have to come over here and get cleaned up before we re-drill them. But we'll see. These two fields here, the one that I'm picking up the straw on, the one right here to the left, we are going to combine these two fields. So this might be one that doesn't get drilled today. It absolutely could get drilled in the next episode or the next month. We might be doing 2 episodes again here in August. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out as we move along. But either way, we've got a lot of things to do, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. A lot of things to do. So, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Me, personally, this is the next day, but I'm a little behind on getting some videos done. I worked a 14.5-hour shift yesterday. It was not fun. I was not really planning to do that, but there was an emergency issue, a production issue for one of my clients. And when that happens, guess what? I'm online until it's fixed, resolved, or there's some kind of a path forward. So that sucked. So I didn't really get any videos done yesterday at all for obvious reasons. I worked 14.5 hours, so I was online from about 7:30ish in the morning all the way until 10 o'clock at night. So, yeah, wasn't the funnest. By the time that was done, I just really didn't feel like doing a whole lot. I ended up doing, actually, a video for my other channel, mostly because I did a video that I don't really have to think a whole lot. Now, I'm not necessarily saying I have to think a whole lot doing this, but, you know, I like to try to plan things out here a little bit more. Doesn't always work out, and maybe doesn't always seem like I do, but I try to plan things out a little bit more about what I want to do in the episode, and I really just didn't feel like even putting the effort into doing that, so I did a Dynasty Warriors video, just a mindless hack-and-slash type of video, which sometimes are good, right? Sometimes you need that kind of stuff. So, anyway, bit of a shameless plug there, I guess, for my other channel. But that's all I did. And so I did that from about 10 o'clock to almost 11, like 10:45 or whatever, and then I just didn't do anything the rest of the night. Just figured I would take the next hour and a half or so off before I went to bed. So, that's what I did. But yeah, hopefully you had a better day than I did yesterday. Almost done with this field, which is good. There's a couple bales that dropped out here, so we'll have to, you know, find a way to get them moved out of the way. I kind of talked about in the last episode, you know, figuring out better ways to go about picking up some of these bales instead of utilizing our Massey Ferguson, driving it all the way over here to pick them up, you know, like 2 at a time, right? Whether that's we put it on some kind of a trailer or what. But the biggest problem really comes into play that the skid steer that we utilize, the Massey Ferguson, I love it. It's not fast. It's not fast at all. So the problem becomes there's not really an easy way for us to be able to get that stuff up and off the ground, right? So it's a slow process no matter what we do. right now. So if we can find a better way to do it, whether that's we put a front loader on one of the tractors, which I think this one does not have it. Well, I don't know if it can though. I can't remember. I'll have to look in the menu. So you know, that's I guess that's an approach. We can try to get a front loader for one of the tractors, or maybe we figure out something else. I really don't want to specifically. I know I've utilized some, you know, loosely based cheaty type of things, but I really didn't want to utilize like an auto load of any sort on this series. It's kind of wanting to do it by hand mostly, but I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see as we move along. I guess that's where I was trying to get at. Is I know I talked about that in the past about how I'm not really fond of this series utilizing an auto load. I'm already utilizing auto load in the luxury tax challenge specifically for bales. That's really all I can utilize auto load for. There is one way to go around doing auto load on console for pallets and things like that, but really it's mostly just bales that we have the ability to do auto loads with. So I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to get at is I'll see if I can figure anything out. There's a long-winded way for me to say I'm gonna see if I can figure anything out to help us being able to pick up all these bales that we have to pick up, and there's quite a few. We also talked about we're going to take that little track that we made down there and kind of make it a little bit straighter, which is definitely something I want to do. So that's probably another one of those fields, or that area of fields where it's probably not going to be re-drilled today. I would have a high probability that this field that we're harvesting right now will be re-drilled today. The reason for that is because there's not anything specific we plan to do with this field, so there's no reason to hold on to it while we do some extra work to it or anything like that. We can literally just go ahead and, you know, re-drill it pretty much immediately. So I kind of cut up to the worker a bit here. I'm going to go down this path one more time, and then once we're down here to the end, I'm probably going to pull this off to the side for a moment, and then we'll kind of give a high-level view here of the things we have to do. I kind of talked about them, but we didn't really like show them to you and what we're going to try to accomplish today. As far as what we can drill today, we have the ability for us to put in canola and only canola right now, really. We can do poplar, I guess, and oilseed radish and grass, but really for us, it's just going to be canola. So I would like to get at least, I think, 2 to 3 fields done with the canola. If we're able to do that, I think I'd be pretty happy. So let's go up here. So worker's going to continue harvesting this field. We already talked about these two. I want to combine them, but we got to get rid of these straw bales if we're going to drill that field today. We have this field that can be re-drilled. I think we're going to re-drill this field today. These are the 2 fields I was talking about where this one has to be harvested today, but then we're going to take this and try to straighten it out a little bit, basically, if that makes sense. Also, bales have to be taken away from this field. Similar situation here. Bales have to be removed from this field, and we're going to expand this field. No, I'm sorry. We're going to expand these 2 fields. So this one we can go ahead and drill today. I just got to make one pass here with the plow and creating the fields and expand it here. This field and this field will be combined together after we've kind of extended our path here, or our track here, whatever you want to call it. These 2, maybe. I probably will, but maybe. But that's kind of the main goal there, right? This one, I was trying to think of some other things to do. I really want to do, I think I talked about this, but I'm bringing it up again, so bear with me. I really want to do grapes or olives or something like that, but the problem is there's not really any old equipment for grapes and olives that are out there on ModHub. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Here, I'm going to hold off on re-drilling this field. Not sure what I'm going to do with this. This is a very, very small field. I'm tempted to re-drill it, but at the same time, I don't know. If I'm going to re-drill it, I feel like I need to buy this field with it too. And right now, I don't want to buy any fields. I would rather save the money. Ooh, worker's full. Okay, hold on. Let me get up there. I think I'd rather save the money right now for that harvester I talked about already. I think that is something we definitely need to get. because I definitely want to do sunflowers and corn more than we already are. Right now, we just have one cornfield. It's a large cornfield, but we don't have any sunflower fields. And I would love to do sunflower fields because that gives us sunflower oil, which can also go into our mill. Speaking of that mill, I probably need to move some of the product out of the way so we can continue to produce, because once it's maxed out, it will not produce anymore. So I probably need to do that. I have not looked at that today. I did not look at that before I started the episode today, so I really don't know where it's at, but my guess would be that it needs to be it needs some product moved out of the way so it can continue to process. So that basically is our goal, right? So probably we're going to re-drill this field today. Like I said, I'm not sure about this field yet. We're going to re-drill this field, and then there's a question about what we're going to do with these fields-ish. Maybe I think of something as we move along here. I don't know, but anyway, that's basically our main objectives and our main goals today, is to get all of that done. Like I said, I don't have to have every field drilled today. We're going to have plenty of months that we can put other things in. We don't necessarily have to get anything in this season. Like, we can wait and do some oats next season. Obviously, we can do sorghums and soybeans, etc. All of that can happen, next season. So I'm not too concerned if we don't get as much drilled here in the next couple of episodes as I'm hoping, right? I'm not that concerned. I'm really not. All right, so there's that. That's moving along. I don't really think I'm ready to do anything there yet. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to jump into the John Deere. I'm going to unhook this first of all. And we're going to find our plow, which I believe is over here by our little buying selling point here. Not selling point, buying station here that we put in. Yes, it is. Perfect. So we'll hook into that. And we're going to work on doing a little bit of expanding of these fields. And then at that point, I think I'm going to grab the Massey Ferguson, and I'm going to go over there and try to get rid of, I think, 2 bales. And I think we'll be getting rid of the bales that we... Though, the field that we literally just finished picking up bales on at the very beginning of this episode, I think we're going to do that one and combine that, because there's only 2 bales over there, I think, and we should be able to pick up 2 bales easily with the Massey Ferguson and bring them back, and so that will allow us to be able to work on that field too. So I think we're going to do that. I think it makes the most sense. Now, some of these fields might need to be plowed. We haven't really looked into that. There is periodic plowing on, so there's a high probability that some of these fields probably are at a point where they could utilize a little bit of being plowed, I guess is what I should say. So we're going to do a quick autosave here, and I'm going to take a look and see and make sure the ones we're going to plan to drill today are not ones that need to be plowed, because if they do, then we're going to have to take a bit of I'm going the wrong way. We're going to take a bit of this one does need plowed. I was going to say I knew it was one of these over here, but I couldn't remember if it was one down here or not. The one that we're on here now as well looks like it needs to be plowed. It does. So maybe that's what we do instead. We do have 2 months to do canola, and like I said, we've started to kind of shift a little bit and allow ourselves to do more than 1 episode per month now. So yeah, I think we're going to plow this field up. Is it going to help that much as far as the yield? Probably not. It will a little bit, for sure, but is it really going to make a huge difference? Probably not. Maybe a little bit, but probably not. I mean, it's not the entirety of the field. It's just the main field that was here before we started expanding it, because we've expanded this field a couple of times now. I mean, it's just basically this 67 field, really. So maybe I won't do the whole thing. Although the whole thing has kind of already been done, hasn't it? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around... I a headland here one time, and then I think I'm going to throw this on a worker, at least for a brief period, and then we'll jump into the Massey Ferguson, and we're going to try to get rid of some of those bales, get those taken care of. And then that way the worker can continue to, you know, plow this field up for us and save me a little bit of time. I think that's the best approach. Looks like that is a spot I missed. I'm going to go ahead and touch that real quick. It's poker night tonight, gang, so that's exciting. I'll probably be doing this episode in multiple sittings because it is poker night, so I don't have a whole lot of time before I have to skedaddle on out of here. Started the new session for me in poker was last week, actually. Didn't do terrible. I made it to right before we got down to the final two tables. So I got like somewhere in the high 30s in points. So not too bad. I'll take that. If you happen to stumble across it and don't know, I play poker in a league every week. Nothing outrageously expensive or anything. It's $30 a week. It's nothing crazy. But it's a lot of fun. But they do, you know, kind of like a final tournament. You have to either place in the top 3, or you have to be above the cutoff line, which is 36 players. So it's fun, man. It gives you a little bit of a challenge, and yeah, it's a good time. Last session, I think I ended overall total points-wise. I think I was 14th or something like that. So I did get a little bit of money at the very last final tournament. The final tournament, if you're in the top 15, sometimes the top 20, depends on how much money they're paying out, how many people played, and etc., right? You get guaranteed money before the final tournament even starts. So that was nice. Doesn't happen very often, but that was nice that I was able to get a little bit. Wasn't anything crazy, but you know, it makes at least some of the weeks paid for. That's how I like to look at it, right? But it's just fun, man. It's a fun little $30 league every week. It's a blast, man. There's normally, I mean, there's a lot more than that, but normally every week we have somewhere between 50 and 60 people that show up to play. So it's a lot of fun, man. It's not like it's just a tiny little like throw together house game or anything like that. It's a legitimate tournament. It's fun. All right, I'm gonna put this on a worker now, and then like I said, I'll go grab the Massey Ferguson and let's go pick up some of these bales here. I think the worker's almost full again, so any minute here I suspect that the worker's going to say they need to be unloaded, but let's get started here, at least getting these up. So yeah, these two fields I think we will drill today. We'll probably drill the field over there on the other side of the actual shop if I don't sell it. I talked about potentially selling that, and I'm kind of leaning towards selling it, honestly. I feel like we have enough fields going on, and we're going to continue to expand the fields back here anyway. So I don't really necessarily know if I need that field anymore. The reason we purchased it beforehand was because it was relatively inexpensive. For what it was, and it had a good crop in it, so I'm considering getting rid of it. We'll see. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but we'll see. And the worker has once again got stuck. Of course they have. Of course they have. Why wouldn't they? All right, let me take care of this. It's always those poles, man. They don't know how to work. Man, that's going to sound bad. I got to reword this. I was going to say they don't know how to work the poles, and I was like, oh boy, that just sounds terrible. Oh boy, oh boy. Anyway. Bear with me, gang. I'm like I told you, I'm had a rough day yesterday, so I'm not all there with it today. You know, I don't know what if anyone has had that kind of experience before or not, where you have a work situation where you're working, you know, that kind of hours, and if you do, man, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry. There's different kinds of exhaustion, I think is how I will put it. You know, with doing that kind of thing, right? There's the exhaustion simply from just being tired from being up so long. There's the exhaustion from mental exhaustion. And then there would be, you know, your typical exhaustion if you're doing a job that is very strenuous, you know, like you're utilizing... What is the worker doing now? Did I not set worker up? I guess I didn't. Then you've got, you know, your type of work that is, you know, super strenuous, you know, where you're actually lifting stuff, you know, you're doing something that is just tiring for your body. Mine, specifically, those, I'm sure if you've been around for a long time, you already know this, but I'll say it again. I'm, by day, I'm a project manager, really. I have a couple people under me, but I do still manage my own projects. I've mentioned that before. I manage the largest project, the largest client, I guess is what I should say, that our company has. So, by day, that's what I do. You know, my job isn't necessarily strenuous from the form of heavy lifting, things like that. I don't really have to do anything like that, but mentally, my job can be very, very draining sometimes. I mean, extremely draining. So, and that's really what yesterday was. I mean, you're in a you know, a Zoom call or whatever you want to call it, Teams call, whatever, all day long. Basically, from the moment you wake up and start working to the moment you log off, and no end in sight. Tense moments, tense times. People aren't really specifically happy for multiple reasons, right? Whether that's your fault, as in the company, or you know, or not. It's still a very stress-driven. How am I going to put this? I'm not really wording this the way I should. A stress-driven situation, right? Where you know, everybody's kind of on edge. Nobody's really happy about anything that's being said or being done, because it's not, you know, getting them to where you want them to be at, right? You're trying to figure out what's going on, which certainly we have to do that, but at the same time, you're not really resolving the issue for them in a matter of seconds. So people, the longer it goes, obviously the more agitated people get, right? So anyway, there you go. That's I've said it before many times in the past, but that's a little bit about what I do in my real life job. I wish this was a real life job for me, but this is more just a fun thing. So maybe eventually, but I doubt it. I think it's too far past now to even consider this to be a real time job. For the most part. Whoa. For the most part, I do like my job. I really do. I don't know where I want to put these. I guess I'll just put them straight into the hat factory, I guess. I don't think I have any other reason to keep them. For the most part, I do like my job. It is very stressful sometimes, but for the most part, I do like it. The client I have is not the nicest in the world, unfortunately. I used to manage the second largest client we have, and now my employee manages the second largest client we have. And they, you know, they're much, well, I shouldn't say always, because it's not always the case, but they're a much nicer client. And when I say nicer, I don't mean that in the sense of, you know, the people that I work with daily can't be nice. They can be, but they're just more demanding, and they get angry and more agitated, you know, over things that I don't think there's a reason to get agitated over. But again, that's just my opinion. Internally, they could be getting screamed at, right? So then as a result of that, unfortunately, I get to get screamed at, or my employees get to get screamed at, or my company gets to get screamed at, or whatever, right? So, well, there you go. It's not farming. I should stop talking about work. But that's what's been going on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get started here, getting the rest of this done. There's not much of this to actually harvest to finish here, so we'll take care of doing the rest of that, and then the worker should almost be done with doing the plowing over there. And then once that's done, we can bring that John Deere over here, combine those two fields, and then go get the drill. And I'll probably set the worker on doing the drill, and then we'll take all this back. Then we got to get this straw hooked up. Actually, we're not going to take this back. I'm sorry. I've already forgot. There's one other field directly to the right there on the other side of those bales that you're seeing there that needs to be harvested as well. So we're going to harvest that, and then we'll take this back. I don't remember what crop it is. I don't know if it's the exact same crop or not. It could be, but I really don't know. So if it's not, then we're going to have to bring the the semi back and drop that off and drop the wheat off and then come back over here. I really don't know. It looks like wheat to me, but it might not be. So we'll figure it out though. Let's get going. All right, we got a lot done there in that time-lapse, gang, and we're making some progress here, but we're definitely going to have to do a second episode here in August. There's just no way. We've already elapsed quite a long episode as it is, and workers started drilling on that field down there, but we haven't even begun drilling this field down here. And I think I've made the decision I want to do at least 3 fields, so because of that reason, we are definitely going to do a second episode here in August, which will be probably pretty heavily themed to drilling, and I'll probably have the worker do a little bit of plowing as well on a lot of these fields. We also have the straw to pick up on that one field that we have not touched yet, that was just finished harvested in the time lapse there. So we got quite a bit to do here, if I'm honest, still in August, for me to be happy to move along. Now, I don't need to do any more than 3 fields. I think 3 fields is sufficient for our canola, but I do want to get 3 fields in. I think initially I had said 2 at the beginning of this episode, but I've changed my mind and I want to make sure that we're doing 3. So what I'm doing now is just going back through here and just touching up some of the work here that the worker did with the plowing. They missed a couple of spots for whatever reason. Whether that's my fault or their fault, I don't know, but either way, they missed a couple spots. So we're just going to go back through here and kind of do a little bit of touch-up work. I think I made the decision, gang. I think we're going to sell this field here. As much as it has been very helpful to us, I think we're going to sell it. I am going to put down a track and see what happens. I'm going to do it. See if they drill over it or not. I would suspect they're probably going to drill over it, but I mean, it might update properly like you would think, you know, as we expand these fields, right? The GPS updates, so it may do the same, but we're going to test it out and figure it out, I guess. Somebody probably already knows that answer, but I'll be fully transparent with you. I do not. I would assume that it's going to pick up the changes that we made, and that's going to be the new field, but you never know. You never know. So this is a nice field now, right? This the field before was there's nothing wrong with it, but now this is a nice size field. This is definitely one of our larger fields, so I'm very happy with this field, and I'm happy that it's going to be a canola field too, because that makes us a lot of money. Before we leave today, as well, we also need to, like I said, go check the mill out. As a matter of fact, we can go just look at it from here. I fully believe that it is full. It is. So if we want to continue that process of making more flour, we do need to move some of those pallets out of the way. Might end up turning all of this onto auto selling as well, but we do want to continue to have it produce, flour for us, as right now it is not doing so. So we need to definitely think about doing that as well, I guess is how I'll put it. I'm going to drive this over here. We're going to put a bit of a track in, like I mentioned. Is it going to save us a ton of time? No, but it will save us a little bit of time from having to go all the way out to the main road, turn all the way back around just to come back over here. So we're going to put a track in, and we'll just see what happens. We'll see how much it yells at us about it. It's going to be probably a relatively larger, bit of a larger size, I guess is how I'll put it. I think something like that would be sufficient. Pretty much straight to the pole there, right? I'm going to have to do a little bit of touch-up work here. Don't yell at me too much here, gang. I'll fix it, don't worry. Now, this is probably a little bit too wide, if I'm honest with you, but that's okay. That's alright. It gives us enough room, like if we're using the semi or whatever, to come in here and turn and then be able to get back over to here, so I think it's okay. That dog will not shut up, man. That dog does not like that I'm over here. Oop, shop area restricted. Oh. Well, that's not good. I'm not going to be able to do that. I wonder if they're going to drill that. That's going to be funny if they drill that. Whoop. Huh. Shop area restricted. Interesting. I wonder why that's saying that when this is clearly a field that we could harvest. This is not exactly working how I thought it was going to, if I'm honest with you. Now it kind of looks worse. Well, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do about it now. Alright, let me just touch this up a little bit, because I made this extremely wide here at this point. Okay, is it perfect? No. but will it do the trick that we're trying to do here? Yes, it will do the trick. And it allows us to take a bit of a shortcut over to here, which is perfect. Yep. All right, that does the trick. So let's sell that field then. Now, what does that do? Well, that pretty much allows us now at this point to be able to purchase the other harvester that we wanted to buy, right? That pretty much takes care of that for us. So that's another reason why I was willing to lose that field, although that means we're going to make a little bit less money because we don't have that field. I'm okay with it. It's going to allow us to get the other field, the other harvester that we talked about, which is just going to help us in the long run anyway. So since I was up here, I should have did this with the harvester as well. But since I was up here, I figured I might as well just come on over here and spray it down and, you know, give it a little bit of TLC, if you will. I need to do that for pretty much all of my equipment, I think, at this point. The biggest problem right now is that the sprayer is up here, so I got to bring everything up here if I want to do that, right? So I was looking into the grapes a little bit more as well, kind of off camera. Yeah, so there's in the used market right now, there's this Grigori, or however you want to say it. They have been around since the 60s, but this machine is not from the 60s. I think this one's from like 2016, 2017, something like that. It's a bit unfortunate. I was hoping that there would be, you know, something that would help me out here, but yeah, it's just too new, unfortunately, for this series, so not going to work. So I don't know if we're ever going to be able to get grapes or olives in there or not, but I'll keep looking on ModHub, hoping and praying that something comes out that's a little bit older for us. So while we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at that harvester again. I think I'm just going to go ahead and buy it now. That way I don't have to worry about it. Here it is. We wanted the $50,000 one with the tracks on it, which I think is kind of cool. It's going to be open air, which is going to be a little bit different than we're used to, but that's all right. I'm going to keep it this weird, I don't know, like almost like a mint color, I guess is how I will put it. I mean, I kind of like that design, but I don't really want to spend an extra $1,000 on it, so we're not going to do that. $55,000 just for this with the color track, which I wanted. So, I think Lizard's the only one that gives you the crawler track. So, all right, we own that, and then we want specifically this one, but we want really both of them. So, we're going to buy them both because it's going to help us in the long run. All right, at least this is $3,383, which is not a ton of money. But, you know, it's something, I guess is how I'll put it. We're going to have to put down some more sheds now, because now we have this, and it's going to need to... It's not even going to need. We're going to want to put it into a shed, right? Listen to the sound of this thing, man. This thing sounds awesome. Well, it wouldn't let me put the other one down because there's not enough space. Okay. Oh, no, put it over here. I was going to say, wait a minute, we still have... I was going to be like, wait a minute. Because I was going to say, we still only have $3,000, so I had to purchase it somewhere. Put it over there. Okay, all right, got it. This might have an issue getting back into our yard, actually, now that I'm seeing the size of this thing. This might be too wide. This thing cruises, man. This thing books. This goes faster than our Kloss does. The storage isn't there, but the speed of it is phenomenal. It's easy to turn. I don't know, man. What do you think about this thing? I think it looks pretty sweet. And I probably wouldn't pick this color if it was me, but it does cost more money to change the color out, so we're just going to go with it. Especially when we only have $3,000 now that we spent all that money. So yeah, next episode we'll clean up the rest of that straw. We'll fix that track there. Probably plow up a few more fields as well, and then re-drill a few fields too. Looks like the worker finished the job here. I didn't see it pop up, but it could have popped up at any point. I just didn't see it. I'm just going to move it out of the way because we're going to be utilizing it once again here in August. Here in just well, I guess 2 episodes from now. Well, not 2 episodes of this series, but 2 episodes on the channel from now, I think. Maybe a little bit longer than that, because we probably have our Sunday in between there somewhere, right? Which is our simulation Sunday, which we're getting close, I think, to finishing the gas station simulator, which I've actually enjoyed a lot. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I thought I'd get kind of bored with it after a couple of episodes, but yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Well, we could just drive right through that fence, evidently. That's different. We're going to have to get some more money together for us to be able to put down another shed. So for now, we're just going to have to leave this thing right here out in the open, which is not really what I would want to do normally. But, yeah. So there you go, gang. We're going to leave the episode at that point. We're going to continue on in August. In the next episode, we'll get everything else done that we need to do, which there's quite a lot, because really, we have only drilled that one field, thanks to the workers. So, lots to do, lots to come. Thanks so much for continuing watching. Thanks so much for your continued support. Thank you to my members. Cannot thank you guys enough. There's a link down below if you're interested in that. There's also a Discord down there, in case you have yet to join that. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button in case you have yet to do so, and I'll see you next time.